Don't let the sun go down on me. It's sunset, guys. What's up? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. I am out and about doing my errands as usual, and I figured I would have a few words with you, good friends out there. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. But first, do that, little Q-tip thing first. You know what I mean? Earwax buildup and all. So you can hear me clearly. You understand? Anyway, guys, one of the things that I wanted to address real quick, I was thinking about, of course, the travesty that was the so-called sequel trilogy, which I hate calling it that because it was a sequel to nothing. It continued nothing. It wrapped up nothing. Kathleen Kennedy was right. The Rise of Skywalker really doesn't explain anything. You fucking think so, ho? So, anyway, one of the things that I've been critical about since this whole so-called sequel trilogy began would be the characterization of one Mr. FN187, Mr. Finn himself, or as I like to call him, Toby, the runaway slave. All right, now that the whole saga has wrapped up, I think it's fair to say that Finn got no real character closure. He got no real character arc. He never found out who he truly was, where he came from. Of course, there were implications, so you don't have to rush down into the comment section before hearing me out and say, yeah, well, they did say this and they did say that. Well, because of the fact that the movie was so badly chopped up, there was no real definitive closure on his arc. I'm well aware of the fact that they're saying that Finn turned out to be force sensitive, or that's what they're saying or implying in maybe the novelization or the comic. But you guys know what I always say. If it didn't happen up on the big screen and you need a comic or a novel to explain it to you, then the movie is trash. Okay? So, Finn didn't get any of that. And it makes me think to myself, because I'm starting to see like a little underrunning theme here, right? When you have these characters that Disney, Lucasfilm, and Kathleen Kennedy and all of these people they're just so giddy to run out and tell you, hey guys, we have black people, we have Asian people, we have gay people, look at us over here, it's the wave of the future, and we're surfing it, baby. All right, so they're the ones who want to brag about having all this diversity, but when I look a little bit closer, right, I think to myself, well, look at the way Finn is characterized. Look at the way Rose is characterized. Look at the way Jana is characterized. Look at the way the black chick from the Solo movie was characterized. Do you see that none of these characters have been fleshed out? Have you noticed that? Is it just me? I don't know. And, I mean, to be fair, none of the characters were really fleshed out. I mean, they had a hard time developing any character. I don't care if they were white, black, or Venezuelan, or Eskimo, or Samoan. It's like they really did a terrible job with character development. But see, since they're the ones who like to brag about being progressive, they're the ones who steer the conversation. So I am going to talk about how they characterize their so-called minorities, even though I hate that word. So you see, like I said before, Finn, who I think most of us by now agree had the most potential to be an incredible character. As a matter of fact, this whole trilogy could have been built around a renegade stormtrooper who happened to be force sensitive, who is trying to get back to his people, who turned out to maybe all of them were force sensitive, or at least a good amount of them were, who were snapped out of their programming by that force awakening. Like I said, it could have been set off by Luke. It could have been set off by Snoke. Anything. A disturbance in the Force could have awakened a group of people. Like a mass, community of people who just happen to be stormtroopers. I mean, that's a really deep idea if you really think about it. Like having a new Jedi Order be born of actual Empire or First Order stormtroopers. That's amazing, considering we already saw how the original stormtroopers were to assist the Jedi. You know what I mean? They came from the Clone Wars and stuff like that, and they were corrupted, because of Order 66. So if it would almost be like a strange, beautiful full circle to have now real people being used as stormtroopers who ended up being Jedi, or possible Jedi. So, when you hear about that, your mind is like really like, oh my God, they really missed an opportunity to let their imaginations run free with this. They said that Finn was trying to tell Rey that he was Force sensitive. I thought that it was playing out like he wanted to tell her that he loved her. I mean, to be honest, that is the way that it played out. But later on, they said that he was trying to say that he was Force sensitive, which once again doesn't speak well of Finn, because if he suspected that he was Force sensitive, why wouldn't he have also been seeking out Luke Skywalker, or the Jedi or Jedi guidance or something like that? I know he was injured at the end of The Force Awakens, so he wasn't able to accompany Rey on her journey, but he saw all that she had been through. He saw that she was struggling to find her place. I mean, that was even more of something they had in common, because Finn didn't know where he came from either. But of course, they didn't give him the respect of even showing him be conflicted over that, And then you have Jana and whoever her people were, who were ex-stormtroopers also, who just happened to be black. And, she was also talking about how they felt a disturbance, maybe, or maybe there was an implication that they also were Force sensitive, which snapped them out of their programming. And also, it is said that maybe Jana is the kidnapped daughter of Lando Calrissian, which was kind of hinted at in that final scene where Lando says, let's find out who your people are. Lando is a legacy character, so if you can't even give him the respect of showing him realizing that this could be his daughter, or even acknowledging that he had a daughter, once again, it's disrespectful. Now you have three people of so-called color, right, who are being criminally misused, who have potential for a plot, that is compelling, and they're not going to explore that at all in these movies, because it's over now. Not to mention the Rose Tico thing. It's like Rose Tico was not used. Personally, it doesn't matter to me, because she showed none of that promise or potential that Finn or Jana or certainly Lando showed. So I don't even see where she would have fit into anything anyway. So to me, she's a total throwaway character. It has nothing to do with the way I feel about Kelly Marie Tran. Before anybody comes in here talking about that, this is just about wasted opportunities, right? And why is it that a lot of the wasted opportunities that you see are of these people of color that they bragged about? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I took offense to it. I'm saying, since they're the ones who bragged about it, why did they underuse them? So I just want to say to Disney, Lucasfilm, if you were doing that for me or for people like me or for kids, to see more diversity, I would say that you fucking failed, just like you fucking failed with everything else, because you didn't flesh out these characters. You didn't have them reach their potential. And I feel that this disrespect that you're showing them by not developing their character or giving them closure is an indication of your prejudice and your bigotry, because you don't even see these people as human beings who are worthy of having a satisfying character arc. You can't satisfy every story. This is true. But if you had time to waste fucking time on Canto Bight, if you had time to show all of these little things like Luke milking a fucking titty on some alien, and you had time to show Luke getting knocked on his ass by Leia in that horrible CGI scene, then you could have had time to at least imply that there was something more to these characters. But no, you didn't see the need to do it, and you have to ask yourself why that is. So while you're patting yourselves on the back, waiting for that call from the NAACP awards, Image Awards, that is, to award you for what you did with so-called minorities, I don't think that call is going to come unless you, give them that huge donation. I think usually that's the way those fucking things work. But, yeah, so anyway, guys, that's my observation on that. Like I said, Disney, on behalf of myself, on behalf of, my son and other people out there who look towards these things and look for positive images. Thank you for nothing. All right, guys, you can tell me how you feel about this. You can get into the comment section, and you can sound off as always. I respect your opinions and your voices, unlike Dizznee. And you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And when you subscribe, please hit the notification bell and hit all. It's very important. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.